conversation. Our interview with Zach today is brought to us by A Home Builders Association. Give big this year with A Home for the Holidays raffle. You have a chance to win a beautiful new custom home or a cash prize this holiday season, and help make wishes come true for Make-A-Wish kids with critical illnesses. Raffle proceeds benefit Make-A-Wish OKI, which has granted over 22,000 wishes to children facing critical illnesses across Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana since 1983. This year's house is a custom-built ranch by Petros Homes, has 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and a 3-car garage. It also includes some amazing features like a great room with vaulted ceilings, an unbelievable kitchen, a mudroom with open lockers. One lucky winner will be announced on December 24th, so get your $100 ticket now. Just visit ahomefortheholidays.org to buy your tickets. That's ahomefortheholidays.org. Terms and conditions apply.
If we win that, anybody at the show, I've got an idea for a live stream. We're going to call that the UCSS home. We're all going to move in, and we're going to have 75 cameras wired everywhere in every room of that
real
house.
World.
And we're basically, it's going to be a UCSS real world live stream.
Are we bringing
television
our spouses
extravaganza?
or just us?
No. Spouses can visit on Saturdays for 2 hours.
Bro.
But for the most part, it's just to see who does the dishes.
Yeah.
Who's the best chef. Who makes their bed, who doesn't.
Nah.
What beefs arise inside the house.
Nah, here's how this gonna work. Like,
Streaming
here's how,
gold.
man, get behind this. Listen, no, you can't just have UCSS. You got to have the Cleveland media.
Well, you bring in everything.
I need Tony Rizzo and Bull in the same room.
Whoa.
I need Goldhammer and Lima chilling. I need Peter.
Does Zach Jackson come in?
Zach Jackson and Tony Grossi. All of them. The beat reporters. And this is from the creators of the Real World Road Rules Challenge. We'll listen, everybody in the house, and we get eliminated week by week based on content. You got to do a podcast. Who got the best podcast? We vote, get up out of here.
Wow.
Who writes the best articles? And we have challenges where we put on teams. Great.
I like
There's
that
got to be
idea.
physical challenges, too.
Yes,
100%.
physical challenges.
Yeah.
Yes, it's going to be
I'm not
crazy.
up for that
Nothing
one.
involving the left hip for at least another month.
Jousting.
Can you imagine?
Just argue about Brown's draft picks.
Oh,
all day.
All night.
24/7.
And we couldn't put
You in,
alcohol.
Zach? Zach's in.
We can't put alcohol involved. That thing turns into.
Wait a minute.
Let's see.
It's going to spice things up.
Hey, look, Jay. Can you imagine?
Spice things up.
Now we got a couple of people that
Rizzo on a bender?
Oh, listen.
Nothing like it.
See,
I'm watching.
Hey, let's get it together. Listen, somebody with sponsors, talk to me. This is the biggest thing moving.
It ain't huge.
It'd be
It would
crazy.
be fun.
On the Portage Lakes?
Yeah. I mean, what could go wrong?
Boats, all kind of
Go
stuff. Somebody mess around and
It could
drown.
be like a second Love Boat situation. Like
Yeah,
Dustin
man,
in
this is
Minnesota.
wild.
Zach, a lot to get to.
Yeah.
Thanks for dropping by. There are a lot of items, but I want to get your reaction to what I said about the draft class. On one hand, I think it hit a lot of nails, but it didn't address the team's biggest needs. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all. And we're never going to hit anything. But that story with Mason Graham is, okay, he's really good for a few years, but couldn't it have been any offensive player?
Yeah.
And like 5 years from now, is the CBS E team going to be talking about, well, Carson Schlesinger has 11 tackles again. He's had 11 losses every year of his career here in Cleveland.
Yeah. So, that's crazy.
This is a good point, though, because Bull and I were yelling at each other a couple weeks ago over Tyler Shuck. And I probably got emotional and said, Tyler Shuck sucks. And we didn't have enough evidence at the time. But so you would rather him take Tyler Shuck than who? Because now you have to lose Judkins or Schlesinger.
Okay, well,
and the quarterback's more important than either of those guys.
This is kind of the story of what they've done here. Is they came to the conclusion that Tyler Shuck was too old, he was shaky, he wasn't going to be the answer.
Injury prone.
He wasn't really going to be in their plans. And then they drafted Dylan Gabriel anyway with the pick that they had traded Amari Cooper for.
Right.
How
old is Dylan Gabriel, by the way?
He's 24.
So he's 2 years younger than Shuck. Shuck's 26.
Yeah,
so
Shuck's 26.
Like, that's a big deal.
Yeah, they were both at Oregon at very different times
Right,
in their careers.
But I guess one of the points is they were never going to fill all their holes in one draft. But I agree, when you take a defensive tackle at 5, as great as Mason has been, and I think you could make a case to put him on that top 10 list we just talked about.
He should be in the top 10 for what it's worth.
But should you have taken a left tackle there? Is that more?
Yeah, he went one pick earlier. I mean, that's the thing. It's how you spin it forward, Jason. I mean, this year in the draft, whoever's picking them and wherever they end up, 6 and 20, 3 and 22, guess what? They have to go offense.
Yeah.
They have to go quarterback, tackle, wide receiver. There's no other option. So that's where they are. So that's how you have to look. There's a million different ways you can look at it. Yeah. And Quinshon Judkins is an excellent football player. Mason Graham and Carson Schlesinger are borderline Pro Bowlers already. Schlesinger's going to deservedly get that award. And Harold Fannin is already really good and ahead of anyone's schedule. Just learning the position.
So you got to give him a lot of credit for that.
For sure. And Harold Fannin and Judkins both in a real offense. Like, imagine what they would be.
Yeah.
You don't think the Kansas City Chiefs or the Patriots sit and say, if we had Fannin right now?
Oh, my God.
what
Or
would he be
Judkins.
doing?
Judkins.
Chiefs have no
Either one.
explosiveness in their backfield.
Let me ask you this question. Is there any chance in the world that, say for instance, Andrew Berry didn't have that much control over the last few drafts? Is there a chance that DePodesta had a lot of control over those drafts, or is it just...
I don't think control. I think input. They have a pattern, Garrett. They have traits that they pursue. All these guys, except for Schlesinger, were younger guys, super athletic, off the charts guys. They've followed that blueprint. But Andrew Berry has been the architect of the drafts and the guy who signs off. So they have the biggest analytics staff in the league. They have a huge scouting staff. They go out and do their thing, but they've done it their way. This one was different. Some of it is just having the opportunity to pick in the first round.
That's not an endorsement of analytics, by the way.
No.
I mean, the fact that they have the biggest.
Yes,
like
Jay.
you would say, well, now look, they've won 3 Super Bowls in a row. They have the biggest analytics department.
keep
There's a
saying,
cause and effect.
all of this spending and all of this is supposed to result. It's supposed to be a positive,
Right.
but when
Right.
it's constantly this, people are like beating their heads against the wall,
Exactly.
right? But no, Andrew Berry's the one that signs off on the draft picks. DePodesta was involved, no doubt, and they have systems in place. They do things differently in the pre-draft process, and I think it's very fair to look and say, okay, you had 5 months to search for a quarterback, and you brought back Dylan Gabriel, and then, oh, by the way, we're going to take Shedeur the next day and undercut both of them. That was the result of this 5-month process of going to get anybody you wanted. They weren't at the pro days. They were on their own private tour. Right? They were doing things their way, and it resulted in Dylan Gabriel.
What do you make of the argument that some have made, I'm not one of them, that, well, because Andrew Berry did a great job, even though, again, we've already acknowledged they didn't take the positions they need, but he did do a great job in this draft with the first 4 picks, and that should mean he keeps his job.
I would say, what else are you excited about on this team other than Myles Garrett and those 4 picks? And there are things, right?
Not many.
This is public school math. But to me, the top 6 offensive linemen do not have a contract for next year. And $46 million, roughly, is their cap hit just for next year for those guys without contracts.
Wow.
Oh,
That's
my.
insane. That's got to be higher than some teams.
And so their whole strategy has been the cap is going up. You can't spend
right.
ahead. It's basically a 0% loan.
Yeah. Well, it's
right?
about to catch up to them.
They've invested in yes, but it's about to catch up to them because none of those 6 are under contract. So bench Wyatt Teller, make him the scapegoat. It's strange, whatever. But play the rookie. They're not playing the rookie. They're playing
No.
Tevin Jenkins, who does not have a contract for next year.
So stunning. It really is stunning. And we've talked a lot about the cap and is it mythical? Is it hard? Is it real?
It is not a myth.
It is not a myth.
It is bendable, but it is not a myth.
It's bendable, but what I think, my takeaway from all this is you can run from the cap, but the cap will always catch you.
It won't. It'll only catch you if you're bad. It only catches. It's not going to catch the Eagles.
It
hasn't caught the Eagles.
No.
It hasn't caught the Rams.
No. If you bet on the wrong guy.
Yes,
that's what I'm saying.
That's what I was going to say.
If you screw it up, it'll catch up with you. If you don't, it won't.
Like, if you could show, hey, we had a couple of good years in there, made a deep run, made a championship game, or whatever, then maybe the juice is worth that squeeze. But in this case, we're coming off, in all likelihood, it's going to be maybe 7 wins combined over 2 seasons. It's not like we went to the promised land and now we got to pay the piper.
Right, I hear you.
We've walked through hot coals, and at the end of the hot coals, there's more hot coals.
Every team, every fan base would want their team to do what the Browns have done in terms of being willing to spend, not in terms of anything else they did.
Yeah.
Right.
But in
Spend
terms
wisely. I'm all for
Right.
spending.
Yes.
These
can't
guys are
throw it
not
out
renewable
willy-nilly.
resources.
No, exactly.
Right. Teller and Batonio were never renewable resources. You tried to ride them here. Right? David Njoku had that magical month in Joe Flacco's magical month. Neither of the two would have happened without the other.
You're
What
right.
has David Njoku done since?
Nothing.
Yeah, not much.
Zilch.
His cap number next year, $23 million.
my
His contract doesn't exist.
So there's 67 million, 69 million.
Yeah, and the first 6 guys across the line.
and they're not going to be here.
So what?
Well, include Deshaun Watson, too.
I want you
Yeah, we're not even there yet.
More than that, you got over 120 million.
I want you. But the only thing I would say, the job title is not drafting manager. The job
Yes.
title is general manager.
Yeah, you're right.
Managing the cap sheet,
All of
managing
it.
the roster.
All of it.
It's not just one draft that gets
you're-
you off the hook. Go ahead.
So
You're right.
no, so how does this? So now I'm just doing the math here. I'm looking around. So if you hire a new GM, technically they could just tear it all the way. Like this.
No, they can't. That's the thing, Garrett. This year, San Francisco and Seattle both consciously tried to get ahead and cut older players. One of whom being Malik Collins, and the Browns were right there to pounce. Right, but they can't because they're stuck in this money with these contracts. Your choice on Deshaun Watson next year is $80 million to be released, or $40 million to be on the team.
Oh my God.
So $40 million on the team just pushes the other 40
And it pushes
down.
the other
Yes, it
40.
does.
Their
So
40 doesn't
just-
exist.
So
evaporate.
a new
Spreading
GM,
out the pain.
a new GM comes in and says, I don't want to be on the team. I'm 80. So that's 80. That's 80 gone. You
That's
have
80
no.
gone.
You have no linemen.
Right.
Right. Then your new coach or GM says, I want my quarterback. So you go whatever you go get a quarter. So you meaning to tell me that if you do make a change in regimes, it theoretically could be worse than what it is now.
Oh, they're going to get a gap year of their own. Of
Yeah.
whoever comes
Yeah,
in.
yeah, that's what they're going to do. They're going to tear it down as far as possible. Not all the way down, not 2016, because it's just a different setup.
Right.
But
yes,
ultimately, if they get the right quarterback, that's the thing that will turn
I
it
think
around.
as of this moment, 13 of the 53 are rookies. So when we sit
Yeah.
here next year on December 1st, 26 to 30 of the 53 will be first or second year players.
Oh yeah, that's
Now,
one win.
If you
That's
If they're the right ones,
if they're
you're
the
on
right
the way
ones,
up.
Yeah.
Not only now you can say, okay, now we're building something with solid building blocks that's not smoke and mirrors.
Right.
They're all good young players on manageable contracts. Extend the ones that you think are worthy of extensions. But that it would excite me as a fan. If you could duplicate this class with this next class.
Oh, sure.
Now you're like, well, God, you're about halfway there in terms of numbers.
But
If you
you-
get 25 guys and they're the right guys.
But you will be counting on unknown people that you bring in to hit on the next year's draft like you hit on this year.
And not only that, G, because we've talked about this on the show, it's not only the devil that we don't know, but we do know this, who's going to pick that devil. And we do know that person's track record at picking the right people to run the franchise. And that's why it always comes back to the same dead end to me. Is Jimmy still picking the next guy? Is J-Dub still involved in the hiring of the next guy? Well, then it's insane to expect different results.
Especially if you got two. You're saying that you were expecting Jimmy Haslam without his advisors. That means everybody he was DePodesta, Stefanski, and Barry are all gone. So now it's just him and D picking 3 new people. Do you, like, if you're sitting here, do you trust him to pick all 3 new people?
Zach, I
No.
said a couple weeks ago, he needs to go find the Bob Myers of the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, and Bob came from the agent side, totally reconstructed the Warriors. Now he's working for BlackRock exclusively. Like Jimmy Sexton would be that guy, I guess. He's never going to take that job.
Yeah.
But that's that to me, like, instead of Mike Holmgren, instead of Bill Belichick and all these guys, go find someone on the agent side. Go find someone who knows the entire league, who knows
Yeah.
the good guys and the
They
bad
have
guys.
tried all of these things. Now, it wasn't all the Haslams,
But
right?
they
They didn't hire Mike Holmgren. They pushed him out the door.
No. But the Haslams brought in DePodesta, and they brought in a disgraced
Sure.
pastor from Chicago. That was their. I'm serious.
Yeah.
That was their leadership. A disgraced pastor from Chicago who was running from sex allegations in his own church,
Dang, bro.
It's not uncommon.
That's right.
and
Allegedly.
and a baseball
Allegedly.
guy, and
Allegedly.
DePodesta.
Well, here's how you could do it, Garrett. There's 2 ways. You could hire the GM and let him hire the coach,
Which is what they should do.
or you could hire the coach and let him hire a personnel executive that he knows he's going to work with, because the start of it, you're going to be working with the current scouting staff anyway, because they have been preparing all year.
Yeah, you're not gonna
pick
blow those guys
in
out
the
now.
top 5, in the top 20, and again in the top 5 of the second round.
Yeah, right.
Speaking of which,
And you will blow them out
I like
eventually.
the ladder
but,
of your
yeah,
two
yeah.
options.
but you're not
I
going
like
to
the
fire
ladder.
all of
that's
them
what the
on
Niners
January
did.
5th.
Yes.
the Niners did what you're saying there,
Yeah.
right?
And it's pretty universal. Like, you can hire, scouting contracts run through May 1st, the week after the
Yeah.
draft. But if you're making a high-profile hire, you can bring them in, and they're all scouting the same players anyway, right?
Sure.
You occasionally find a gem, or you occasionally have a wide variety of opinions on a player who has something in his past. It works in other places, it doesn't work here,
Right.
But the information's there,
Yeah.
right? There's only 30 guys right now that are going to be in the top 150 of this draft who NFL teams already don't know a ton about. They need to get to know them more. They need to get the injury information. But right now, good teams could draft.
Zach,
Like, on Saturday.
Sorry to cut you off. I want to talk about Fernando Mendoza because, from my perspective, if he goes out and plays a great game against Ohio State, that's maybe solidifies him at the top. Do football people look at it that way?
In a way, because
Yeah.
what better challenge than the best
Right.
defense in the country
Yeah.
in this stage, right?
I mean, how many guys on that
Maybe one
Ohio
of the best
State
defenses
defense
ever.
Is Ohio State's
Absolutely.
defense, is every single player on the starters on that defense going to eventually be in the NFL?
Yes.
So
it happened in 2002, and it's happening
Right,
again.
right.
And maybe 5 of them will be drafted in the top rounds of the next 2 drafts.
Okay.
Right?
So, yeah.
So there's no greater challenge.
The top 10 of this draft.
Yes, they
Also,
will.
Mendoza is more
Maybe
of a known
top
commodity.
5.
Ty Simpson, this is his first go around.
Okay.
Mendoza started at Cal, right, for multiple years. Graduated from Cal in 3 years. Nobody knew. Nobody in Cleveland, Ohio knew Mendoza was coming to Indiana. The NFL community knew this guy's going to be good. Has he been better? Sure. Have they seen him mostly beat up on bad teams? Yes. But they saw the drive against Penn State, and they're going to get to see that tomorrow, and then they're going to get to see him in the playoff too. So yes, a huge stretch is in front of him.
Are you a believer?
I'm a mild believer. I don't know a ton about him. Right?
Yeah.
I've read the bio. I've asked people around. I watched the last drive against Penn State. It's there, but
I want to see it against Ohio State. I've
That's
watched him a lot this year. I think that the tools are there. He's made some great plays. If he does it against this Ohio State defense, which I've been watching college football my whole life, I cannot remember a time where there was a more dominant, more star-laden defense in all of college football.
Coached by an NFL coach.
Coached by an NFL coach that knows how to draw up defenses. I think that this is the greatest, and there's a lot of reasons for that. I mean, NIL and portal and all of that, and now you can pay players.
Right.
But I think what we're looking at is the greatest college defense we've ever seen.
Yeah.
If he drops an egg, to me,
That's
he's
tough.
not. It's not going to drop him out. What it's going to tell me is this Ohio State defense does this to everybody. If he shines,
Even
and
if they
Indiana
lose.
beats Ohio State, and it's because their offense, to me, rubber stamp him to number
Even if
one.
they lose because their defense gave up too many points. If he
plays
plays
well,
great and they lose 27,
here's the disaster
24.
for Mendoza. They score 12 points.
Right, they get smoked.
You know, that would be, I think, in my eyes, that would be, I don't know that that's a disqualifier. He's still going to go high in the draft. But he's thinking number one. And I think he can rubber stamp that with a 31-point performance.
Well,
even if it's in a loss and they lose 35-31, whatever. He doesn't play defense.
They have an entire football playoff still to come, too.
Right.
They do.
But obviously, this game carries a lot of weight.
This is huge.
Now,
If the Browns win Sunday, they're out of the top 4 discussion.
They are, but they could package their first-round picks together.
Our coworker Dane Brugler did his mock draft, and that's what he predicted.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Let's
that they would fall out of the top
Let's
4?
talk about your. Would you
trade up to
you
one?
like it? Do you
Yes.
think
Okay.
the Browns would like someone enough to not only package up? We just talked about the deficiencies. We just talked about no lineman, no receiver. You gonna package that plus this year's and something next year to get him?
It's a very slim chance to me, Garrett. You know, to get from 7 to 1, the price is going to be ridiculous.
Huge.
Ridiculous. It is.
Yeah, Dane was suggesting just the late first and then a second the next year. I think it's going to take more than that, right?
Can I throw out a Jimmy?
Good.
They run it back with these quarterbacks. They trade down this year, acquire another one for 27, and they take their quarterback.
Well, the way out, look, the direct way out.
not kidding.
No.
I'm not kidding.
No, it's a possibility. And
You've been saying for 6 months they're going to draft one this year.
Yes, and I still think they
Jason.
will, but
Jason,
look who we're dealing with.
Jason, let me tell you something. I just sat here and we watched them draft and do that same thing last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
He's quitting.
I can totally see Jimmy Haslam be like, you know what? We're gonna run everything back, all of it, all of it, and be like, and you know what?
I can see it too.
And
I don't think
play
it's
the
likely, but I can
Sayin
see it.
Listen, this is what I keep saying. The Browns build for plans that never come.
Right.
They always build for a future that never
one of these
arrives.
days, kids, we're going to have a playroom.
And you can't see Jimmy sitting in the room going, by God, look at that 27 quarterback class.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you,
Julian Sayin, Arch, my boy Arch is in there.
Maybe
Listen.
Lenoris Sellers, we don't know yet.
I mean, I'm telling you, I wouldn't bet on that being the outcome. I don't think it's completely out of the
Let me
realm
ask you
of
this, because I don't
possibility.
either. I think it's very possible. I think if they're going to be in the 7 range and the price is going to be too high, let me ask you guys this question. Is it worth playing the Sayin sweepstakes? Do you guys think he's as good as I think he is?
The accuracy is.
I am blown away by his deep ball accuracy, guys. And I know he's got talent. A lot of quarterbacks in college have talent.
Not like him.
Joe Burrow did.
Oh, I thought you meant current quarterbacks.
No.
But okay, Joe Burrow did.
Here's
yes.
what blows me away. Julian Sayin is doing something that has never been done in the history of college football.
Now,
he is completing 4 of every 5 passes, and I keep watching him with this eye. This isn't real. Where is where is he soft? Guys, He goes through his reads in lightning speed.
Shedeur had the best completion percentage last year in college.
I know he did, but I
me
don't
just tell you
think
something.
anybody was talking about him as this guy.
tell you.
I'm just
Here's the problem.
so I'm higher on Sayin than all of you guys.
Here's the problem. This dude got receivers that's better.
And it's hard to separate that. Yes.
He got receivers.
Every Ohio State quarterback busted in the
he got
NFL.
receivers that's better than our receivers
Yes.
right now,
Yes.
today.
I've said they'd be our
doubt.
wide receiver 1 and 2.
It's a cheat code that makes it hard to evaluate.
It's hard to
How
Right,
much
but
is the quarterback?
the
Because
thing
how
is-
many times have we watched Ohio State, and I've put it in our chat, Julian Sayin makes a throw, and it's a he's down there somewhere throw,
Yeah,
and Carnell Tate
he
throws
just-
it
and
down
he
some
just-
three.
Yeah, but it's right where his hand is.
It's right where his hand is. He doesn't have to break stride. Zach.
I went in person. I sat in the
he
end
is
zone for the
good.
Penn State game,
He
and
is-
I said,
His accuracy is
Wow.
jaw-dropping.
Yeah.
My brother and my dad, they swear all I'm saying. Like, listen, the shirts is already made. The Super Saiyan T-shirts is there.
I like it.
Just saying.
Just saying, right?
hey, Sayin, Mendoza, Sellers, Manning, all these names here, every podcast, every Twitter argument, right? The most direct way out of this is to find your own Brock Purdy, and that's Shedeur Sanders or not. That's what it is, or some guy this year.
Well, at
right?
the end of this year, you feel that we will know that the Browns will have enough data?
I don't. You would, in an ideal world, which the Browns have never lived in, you would know.
Yeah.
I think there's a huge 4 quarters ahead. I think there's a huge 4 weeks ahead.
Let me tell
Yeah,
you. Let me
I would
tell
agree
you.
with that.
You may disagree with this. You may agree. We've never had this discussion. If they sweep everybody out, okay, and they bring in a new general manager, one of the first things a lot of general managers would do is take Shedeur Sanders off this roster.
It's very possible.
Gone.
Just to eliminate the
Just to
distraction?
eliminate the noise.
Yeah, I would not be against that.
Well, the first two things is and I
But
wouldn't
the tape might be screaming otherwise. Might be.
If the tape
it's not
does,
right now.
If the tape does over the next 4 weeks, that's
well,
a different
then you
conversation.
change course. But
But-
where we are right now,
Somebody might come in. This is crazy. You got 2 of them. I don't know if you could take both of them off the table. The chances of you taking either Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson off the table is slim to none, because Deshaun is good.
Right. There's multiple layers to every discussion.
I
of
don't-
this, right, Garrett?
I
There's
was-
one thing you do. You can trade Dylan Gabriel for 7 to Miami.
Right.
Right.
Sure.
But the other 2 come with complications.
Yeah.
You aren't
for
kidding.
sure, in multiple ways.
I don't think. I feel. Boy, nope. I'm gonna say it.
say it.
Say it.
Nope.
Say it.
Nope.
Come
So, I've
on.
been around this team too long to know better than to make declarative statements.
Okay.
Yeah, with logic involved.
Yeah. As we sit here today, I don't believe the plan is for Deshaun Watson to take another snap this year. So if he's not going to take a snap this year, that tells me he's not in their plans next year. Now
Yeah,
that could
because if
change.
he was in your plans for next year, you might want to kick the tires in a
Right.
game this year.
But that's what I'm saying. If you are holding out any hope that Deshaun's going to be your quarterback next year, wouldn't you want to get a look at him this year?
I disagree with that to this extent, Jay. There's a problem. I totally agree that he's not in
Health?
the plans this year, and I totally agree that we have to be careful. But if he plays next year, what's the point? His contract's up.
Right.
So he gives you 3 good games.
It's a bridge
So
to
that makes
nowhere,
6
Zach.
total in
Zach,
5
Zach,
years.
It's
The
a
point
bridge to
is-
nowhere.
The point
Right.
is we're going back to the 27
Right.
conversation that we just
Right.
had. That if they kick the can again, that
Right.
you just play them out. You might as well get
Well,
something
Well,
for your money.
Jimmy did extend a 0-16.
He
Yes.
gave you an
So
extension.
when this season ends, they have 135-ish in cap commitments to Watson when this season ends. So you can post June 1 him and take it 80 and 50-ish and be done with it after 27. Or you can keep him on the team next year for 39 or so, and then so that you push the remaining 90 into future years.
I think the 80-50
and
is
it
a
follows
smart
it.
way to
And
go.
then if you do that, he's on the team. He's on the roster.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't because I don't think he's in their plans to play. But again, we got a lot of football left.
Yeah.
You would.
He may take a
If the
snap,
Browns,
but
if Shedeur gets hurt,
They'll go back to Dylan Gabriel.
they'll go to Dylan.
yeah, but I mean, you still have to fill a roster with quarterbacks.
Yeah, but that's why Bailey Zappi's here.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I think there is a scenario where the Browns might actually.
There
be
is, but
pushed
the window is
into-
very small.
I agree with that.
He's not even going to be activated until the week of
2
the
weeks
Buffalo game.
Yeah, which
right. And at that point, the fact that he could have any practice at all, like real, I mean, he's out there in practice, but he's not in the real practice. He's in his practice.
Oh, so he's not
warming
allowed
up.
to practice with the team?
No,
Or-
he's allowed, but he's not.
You're not
Where
gonna
is he
wait- you're
physically?
not-
Does
you're not gonna
anybody
waste
know?
those snaps on him.
Yeah.
No, of course not. Does
Right.
anybody know where he
No,
is
nobody knows.
physically?
He's not has not spoken and
Why-
will not.
Why would we?
I
know
want to
that?
drill down on something. You said something, and I just now thought about it. You said it's a very important 4 quarters. Now, I never really got to it. I'm thinking to myself, okay, he's playing, Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. Is there a world where Jimmy Haslam and Andrew Berry is like, well, hold on. I get to see Shedeur Sanders versus Cam Ward. One win in the 5th round, one win in the 1st round. Both teams are trash. Both teams' offense are horrible. Both teams ain't going nowhere. Is that the best comparison you're going to get of, well, let's see if they got comparable talent?
In a way, but I think everybody's circumstances are different.
Yeah, they're not playing against one another.
Yeah. I think when I say the 4 quarters, I mean specifically because you have a chance to beat Tennessee.
And by the way, Cam Ward is playing against a very good defense. Shedeur Sanders is playing against a very bad defense.
And believe it or not, has way worse talent around him than Shedeur Sanders.
Let me give you another world that exists like 2%.
If that's possible.
You think on offense?
Yeah. Who's their best skill position player?
I would say you're probably right that the Browns do have, because they have some talent around. But I think they're both in similar situations, and that for the most part, they're glaring deficiencies all around them. But I do think Cam's level of difficulty Sunday is far greater than
way
Shedur's.
higher.
Let me give you another
Far
world
greater.
that exists over the next 60 hours. Mendoza lights up Ohio State. He's the guy.
Yeah.
Right? Titans, we stink. We've seen Cam. We're not sure. Number 1 pick's for sale. Cam Ward's for sale. Or number 1 pick's not for sale, but Cam Ward's for sale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not touching that. Yeah, let someone else take that. No, I don't want it.
So
And I say Tennessee's saying we're going to go get the real guy.
Hey,
Right,
hold on.
right. Now we got our guy.
So
Right.
you would.
Yeah,
So
I could see that
So
coming.
hold on. You wouldn't.
It only happened
No.
6 years ago.
No, I wouldn't. take
Arizona
Cam Ward.
did this
Guys,
6 years ago.
I said
Yeah.
this going into the draft
Depends
last
on the
year,
price.
and a lot of people.
Depends on the price. You're going to get him at a
I
discount.
just was never enamored with Cam Ward. I had a conversation with Bernie. Bernie loves him, obviously. I get all that connection, but I just never saw it at Miami. I saw flashes, but I never saw like, wow, this guy's going to be a star at the NFL level.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bet on him again. I wouldn't now after I've seen him for a year.
Yeah,
Because
but we haven't
Bull
seen-
always says that the great quarterbacks are good enough to raise everybody up. He hasn't raised anybody up.
Well, I mean, I don't say that one. He's got no talent around.
I know he doesn't,
Zero.
but you've used as your argument constantly. I don't care if you're a good enough quarterback. You
Yes,
can raise
but not in
your
your
team up.
first
As a
year.
veteran.
I just don't
Yeah,
think Cam.
yeah.
Listen, if it's Cam or this year's number 1, if I'm Tennessee, that's an easy one. Cam's hitting the curb, and I'm taking Mendoza. If I'm Cleveland and I'm faced with the prospect of no Mendoza, but you can get Cam, or you can play it out in another way, give me another avenue.
Well, it depends on who the regime is. If it's the same regime, they liked Cam a lot last year.
I would
Well,
take
and the
Cam
price
Ward,
would
no
be
doubt.
the
If
price
they-
would be
if they go for
significantly
Cam Ward,
discounted now.
we also
Oh,
heard
I
from
think
this
Cam
regime
Ward.
that Drew Aller was going to be, if they could take Drew, they would take Drew. What the hell were they watching?
Is there a world where the Browns fall in love with a second-tier quarterback with a big name?
Well, there's guys that are going to be in the second tier for their circumstances. Drew Aller, Nussmeier, right? Played the whole
Club
season
Nick,
Kid
hurt.
at Miami.
Carson Beck.
Carson Beck.
Yeah, I mean, he's stunk for a long time.
Yeah, I
Feels like a Cleveland Brown to me.
Yeah, like
Fuck him. Looks good in orange.
if you pull up and you got Carson Beck in the 3rd round, no, don't. Yeah, this is going to be very interesting. This is going to be a very interesting 4 or 5 weeks for the Cleveland Browns.
I think we could argue. I just want to make one more point on the Ward thing, and I don't think there's an answer here, but we think there's 18 to 22 guys that could be a decent NFL quarterback. That's all that exists, right?
Yeah.
And Cam Ward has the talent to be one of those.
Yes.
Can he be one of the 12 in a couple years in the right circumstance? Jay thinks no. I think
don't.
yes.
I think he could.
I
I think
don't.
yes.
But I think if you do, if you think that, and this happens, it's probably not going to happen. The Titans are going to trade down, draft defense, draft offensive line,
Yeah.
and ride with Cam Ward. They think he has the makeup. He's
Listen,
still getting
we've
ready.
all
Has the
been
first
wrong.
overall
I didn't
pick-
think Bryce Young was salvageable. He's had a decent year.
He had a
It's
bad-
coming to the Baker thing. Are you going to give that guy a second contract? Is
Bryce
Carolina-
Young?
Yeah.
Right now? No.
Well, the decision's coming.
Yeah, I know it
Same
is.
As,
So they're
same
going to
as
have
the
to make the
deadline
same
came for
decision that the
Baker.
Browns had to make.
I don't think any non-expansion team has ever put a quarterback in a worse situation than Cam Ward. A first-round pick.
Right.
Well, if the
You
Browns
can't-
draft a first-round quarterback, that'll be the worst situation.
No, because it's bad.
Yeah.
At least the Browns have a defense.
Right, there's so many
They got
layers
a
to
running
this,
back.
No. The Browns have no lineman signed, and you're running
the
Jerry
Titans
Jeudy
have
back.
the Titans line's worse than the Browns.
No, the Browns have nobody signed.
I hear you.
The Jets have put
Nobody.
some quarterbacks in bad situations. The Saints recently.
The
Like,
Titans have zero talent on offense.
Yeah, I
Zero.
don't-
There's
I
not one
tell
good
you,
player on their offense.
It's hard to see it. It's
Yeah.
hard to see it anywhere. They are deficient
So
wherever you
I'm
go.
not. I wouldn't
So
give
they're
up
going to
on
win
Cam
this game
Ward.
on special teams on
It might be
Their
2-0.
special teams are
Wait till you
good.
see my
A
headline.
Miles Garrett,
There's your tease. Wait till you
a
see my
Miles Garrett
headline.
sack in the end zone. 2-0 Browns win.
Will he break the record, Zach, this week?
I mean, normal people you would say no, but I
Exactly.
think he's got a real chance.
Dan Moore, he's killed Dan Moore.
He's killed Dan Moore. Now Dan Moore's seen him. I think their whole offensive game plan is going to be to just not let Miles get the record. They don't want to win. They want the number 1 pick. They want to get out of here with a healthy Cam
The
Ward
coach has already been fired.
and Miles getting less
Yeah.
than 3.5 sacks.
Who are
That's
they
what
taking?
want.
Who's the first pick? I mean, they got to take an
They're
offensive
going to
player.
trade down.
Yeah, they're going to trade down.
They're going to sit there tomorrow night and root for Mendoza like they're IU.
Yeah, they are because
You
they're
know?
sitting on currency.
Yep.
That's,
They want
that's valuable
Mendoza
currency.
and Simpson to be great the rest of the way.
And the kid from Oregon.
And the
Yeah.
kid from Oregon,
But
Dante Moore, yeah.
with Simpson and Moore both, there's no guarantee they're coming out.
That's true.
Now-
but if they play great here,
It might be a little bit of a stare down because if you can be the number 2 pick in the draft, you come out and you figure it out later.
right.
Yeah,
Right?
you're right.
Yeah. Thanks, Zach.
Zach,
Good stuff
awesome
as
stuff,
always.
man.
All right, guys.
Always great to have you in.
Zach Jackson, always a pleasure.